All right, welcome to another deep dive. You know how this works, right? You send us some stuff, we go through, we pick out the good bits, we bring them right here to you.
That's right, straight to your ears.
Today, we're diving into this AIDB newsletter. It just came out, like today.
Yeah.
It's April 10th, 2025, is that right?
Fresh off the digital press.
Yeah. And, looking through it, I mean, it's Google, so it's a lot, right? But it feels like the big theme is all these new AI announcements they're making. I mean, everything. It feels like from like the core models to the tools that developers use, even to like how these AI agents, could end up talking to each other.
Yeah, it's a lot to unpack, and that's where we come in, right? We'll cut through the noise, help you understand what it all means, and most importantly, why you should even care about any of this.
Right. Like, who cares about some new model number unless it's actually going to change something you do,
Exactly. So let's jump right in, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
One of the first things that jumped out at me was this Gemini 2.5 Flash.
Gemini 2.5 Flash. Okay, even the name sounds fast, right? What is this thing?
It is all about speed. They're really targeting this at developers who need, an AI model that's fast and efficient, but doesn't sacrifice its thinking abilities.
So it's like they want the speed, but they don't want it to be dumb,
Yeah.
right? Like, it still has to be smart.
Precisely. They want that rapid performance without losing the ability to handle complex tasks.
Okay, I get it. Developers, faster, better, blah, blah, blah. But what about me, right? I'm not a developer. What difference am I going to see in the apps I use if they're using this thing?
Well, think about it this way, right? Faster models can lead to more responsive applications. So let's say you're using some AI-powered tool. If it's running on Gemini 2.5 Flash, you're going to get near instantaneous responses. It's just going to feel a lot smoother, more seamless.
Yeah, I hate waiting for those things to think. It's like, come on already.
Exactly. And you might even see, more real-time AI features popping up in apps you use every day thanks to this speed boost.
Okay, that actually makes sense. So faster AI, potentially better user experience. Cool.
Yeah.
Now, this next one, Firebase Studio. Now, this sounds kind of huge.
Yeah, it is. So Google's basically pitching Firebase Studio as this end-to-end platform. You build your AI apps, you deploy them all in one place, and it's aimed at addressing all these existing developer tools out there.
So this is their all-in-one solution.
Exactly. They're trying to create a more integrated experience.
End-to-end though, what does that actually mean? What can you do with this thing?
So it's got a bunch of key features, but let's start with this. They've integrated Gemini AI models right into the development process. So imagine this, right? You can start building an app by just describing it.
Wait, I just talk to it and it makes an app?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
You describe what you want, in natural language, or you can even give it images, drawings, whatever helps you express your idea.
So if I have a rough idea for an app, I can just tell this thing and it'll start building it.
That's the idea. They've got this thing called the App Prototyping Agent. It can actually generate a working web application based on what you give it. Now, right now, it's focused on the Next.js framework.
Next.js, remind me of that.
Think of it like a pre-built structure that makes it easier and faster to create web apps, right? It's got a lot of the common stuff already done, so developers can focus on the AI parts.
Oh, right. So it's not just a mock-up, right? It's a real starting point.
Exactly. It's a functional foundation. The UI is there, some basic logic, all powered by Gemini and their GenKit platform.
Okay, so that's got to save a ton of time on the front end.
Yeah.
What else is in this Firebase Studio thing?
All right, so another big feature is the unified workspace. Basically, they've brought all these tools, Project IDX, GenKit, Gemini, all into one environment, right? And it's all browser-based.
So I don't have to install a bunch of stuff on my computer.
Exactly. Open your browser, you're good to go.
That's pretty convenient. What about if I have existing projects though?
They've got you covered. You can import code from GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket, even just a local archive if that's your thing. And they've also got over 60 templates to get you started quickly.
Wow, 60 templates. That's a lot.
Right, and they cover all sorts of languages and frameworks: React, Angular, Vue.js, Flutter, Node.js, Java, Python, you name it.
So it sounds like they're trying to make it work for any kind of project you're doing. You said end-to-end though, right? What does that cover in the whole life cycle of an app?
Yeah, so it starts with that prototyping like we talked about, using AI to get your initial idea going. Then it moves into coding, right? They've got their own development environment built right in. And Gemini can actually help you while you're coding.
Wait, how does it help?
It can, like, offer suggestions, point out potential issues, even just answer your questions through a chat interface. So it's like having an AI pair programmer.
Huh. That's kind of cool. So it helps you code, then what?
Well, then you need to test it, right? They've got emulators built in, so you can see how your app behaves in real time. And then you can share previews with others, like clients or teammates, using shareable links or even QR codes.
So no more, like, emailing code back and forth.
Exactly. It streamlines that whole feedback loop.
Nice. So testing, feedback, then what? Launching, right. How's that work?
Super straightforward. You can deploy straight to Firebase app hosting, Cloud Run, or even your own custom infrastructure. It's all like a one-click process.
Yeah.
They handle the whole build process, getting your app out there.
One-click deployment, huh? That sounds almost too easy.
Right. And then once your app's live, you can track everything through Firebase's analytics, performance, AI usage, all that stuff.
So they really are covering, like, the whole journey. What about, like, if I'm working with a team?
They've got collaboration features. You can share your workspaces with others just by giving them a URL.
Sounds simple enough.
Yeah, but, the newsletter does mention a little warning. Sharing that link means giving access to your code and potentially some sensitive tokens, so you got to be careful who you share it with.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so collaboration, got it. Yeah. Now, what about for people who, they like to tinker, they want to have control over, like, their development environment? Is there any of that in here?
Absolutely. They're using Nix for environment configuration that basically lets you create these reproducible setups. You specify the exact software, dependencies, even IDE extensions your project needs.
So, like, everyone on the team is working with the same setup?
Exactly. It eliminates those. It works on my machine headaches.
Yeah, those are the worst. Okay, so lots of control, collaboration, all that.
Yeah.
When did this thing actually launch, though? And who can use it?
So it was announced and launched in preview yesterday, April 9th. And right now, anyone with a Google account can use it for free.
Free?
Yeah.
It's pretty generous.
Yeah, there's a limit though. 3 workspaces. If you're part of the Google Developer Program, you get 10. And their premium plan gives you 30.
Okay, fair enough. But it's free to start. That's pretty cool. But preview, right?
Yeah.
What does that mean? Are there any catches?
Yeah, so since it's a preview, there's no, formal service level agreement or a guaranteed long-term support policy. So things could change, right? Features, functionalities, they might evolve. And there's always a chance that future changes won't be fully backwards compatible.
So for, like, mission critical stuff, maybe wait a bit.
It might be prudent, yeah. Until things settle down a bit.
Makes sense. Oh, and I remember reading something about, like, high demand for one of the features.
Oh, right. Yeah, the app prototyping thing, it got slammed right after launch. Apparently there was, exceptionally high demand. They had to put some limits on access for a bit.
Oh, wow. Did they fix it?
Yeah, they said they got it sorted out by the end of the day yesterday. So full access should be restored now.
Good, good. Okay, so free to use within limits, but what about, like, if I start using it a lot and I'm using all these other services, does it get expensive?
So using Firebase Studio itself, within those workspace limits, it's free. But the newsletter does say that if you start integrating it with other Google Cloud services like Firebase App Hosting or the Gemini API, you might need a cloud billing account. And then, you might end up on a pay-as-you-go plan.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. The whole ecosystem, they got to charge for something, right?
Right. So the cost can definitely go up depending on how big your project gets and what other services you're using.
All right, okay. Now, what about these Gemini Code Assist agents? I saw those mentioned too.
Right. Those are interesting. They're in early access right now, but you can get on a wait list if you're in the Google Developer Program. These are specialized AI agents. They're designed to help with specific coding tasks.
Like what kinds of tasks?
Well, they mentioned code migration, testing AI models, even generating documentation.
Oh, wow. So it's like having a little AI team working with you.
Kind of, yeah. Taking care of some of the more tedious stuff.
Okay, so what's the overall, vibe around this Firebase Studio thing? Are people excited about it?
Yeah, the initial reaction seems pretty positive. There's a lot of buzz online, especially on X, all the developers hanging out there. And the early comments I've seen, they seem to think it's a strong contender in the developer tools space.
Yeah, especially if it's free, right?
Yeah.
That's got to be appealing.
Definitely. And that whole rapid prototyping thing, being able to get something up and running so quickly, that seems to be a big draw.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So if someone's listening, they're like, all right, I want to try this thing. What do they do?
Super easy. You just go to Firebase.studio, log in with your Google account, and you're in. You can start prototyping with AI right away, import an existing project, or just pick one of their templates.
Easy enough. Anything else they need to know?
Oh, right. The newsletter did mention that you might need to enable third-party cookies in your browser, and you might have to provide or generate a Gemini API key to use the AI features.
Okay, little technical details. Noted. So, bringing it all together, why is Firebase Studio like a big deal? What's the takeaway here?
I think the key takeaway is that this has the potential to really change how apps are developed. By bringing AI and cloud infrastructure together so tightly, they're lowering the barrier to entry for building apps. It could be a game changer, especially for like independent developers or small teams.
Yeah, it feels like it could democratize app creation, right?
Yeah.
And that could lead to like a whole wave of new innovation.
Exactly. And with Gemini AI at the heart of it all, Google's definitely positioning themselves to be like the go-to platform for this next generation of AI-powered apps.
Yeah, it's an interesting play for sure. Okay, moving on. This next one, VO2. They're making it available through the Gemini API. Now, for those who don't know, what is VO2?
So VO2 is Google's like top-of-the-line video generation model. You can create videos from text, you can create them from still images, like really high-quality stuff. And the big news here is that developers can now access it directly through the Gemini API.
So before, it was like locked away in Google's labs, but now they're letting developers play with it.
Exactly. It's going from a research project to a tool that anyone can use.
Okay, so how do I get access? Do I just need a Google account?
You need a Google Cloud account, and you need billing enabled, at least at Tier 1 or higher. Once you have that, you can use the API to tap into VO2's text-to-video and image-to-video capabilities.
All right, so access granted. What can I do with it, though? Like, why is having VO2 in the API a big deal?
Think about it this way, right? This could make creating video content so much easier. Imagine like marketing teams being able to whip up product demos or explainer videos in minutes, or like educational platforms generating engaging visual content on demand.
Yeah, that's pretty powerful. So basically, they're putting this really advanced video generation tech right into the hands of developers.
Exactly. And that could lead to all sorts of new applications we haven't even thought of yet.
Yeah, who knows what people will come up with. Okay, so from generating visuals, now let's talk about understanding voices. The newsletter also mentioned the Live API. It's officially launching for like real-world use now. What's new there?
Yeah, this is another big step. The Live API, it's all about those real-time interactive voice applications, right? And now it's out of beta, ready for prime time, and they've made a bunch of improvements.
Like what? What's changed?
So first off, language support. They've added 30 new languages, so now it can be used for a much wider audience, right?
30 new languages, that's a lot.
It is. They've also added 2 new voices, so developers have more choices for like how their apps sound.
So no more robot voice?
Well, maybe not no more robot voice, but definitely more options for making it sound more natural. And they've also improved their voice detection tech. It's more accurate, more reliable now.
So it'll actually understand what I'm saying.
Hopefully, yeah. And they've also revamped the user interface for developers. It's supposed to be a lot more intuitive and user-friendly now.
So it's not just about being production ready, it's about being better, right?
Exactly. They're making it more versatile, more powerful, more user-friendly.
Okay, so why does all this matter? Like, if I'm someone who wants to build, like, an interactive voice app, what's the takeaway here?
Well, with these improvements, the Live API just becomes a much more attractive option. You can reach a global audience with all those language options. You have more flexibility with the new voices. The better voice detection means a smoother, more reliable experience for users. And the improved interface makes it easier to develop.
So it's a win-win all around.
Pretty much. It's a significant upgrade that makes the Live API a much more compelling tool for anyone working with interactive voice tech.
Okay, so Google's really refining their core interaction tech here. Now let's talk about something a little different. Ironwood. This sounds like it's more on the like nuts and bolts level. What is Ironwood?
So Ironwood is Google's 7th generation tensor processing unit, or TPU.
TPU, that's their
It's their custom designed chip. They use it to accelerate their AI workloads. And Ironwood, it's a beast.
Okay, give me the specs. How powerful is this thing?
All right, so a single pod of Ironwood, that's 9,216 chips, right? It delivers over 42 exaflops of computing power, and each chip has 192 gigabytes of memory.
42 exaflops. I don't even know what that means, but it sounds like a lot.
It's an absurd amount of power, and the memory, that's 6 times more than the previous generation. And they've also improved data access speeds.
So basically, they've made their AI engine, like, way more powerful.
Exactly. And that power is essential for training and running those really complex AI models. Like, think about the large language models, right? Those things are massive. They need this kind of power to function.
So Ironwood is like the foundation for all the cool AI stuff we see.
Exactly. It's what allows them to push the boundaries of what's possible with AI.
Okay, that makes sense.
Today, I'm proud to announce our 7th generation TPU, Ironwood, is coming later this year. Compared to our first publicly available TPU, Ironwood achieves 3,600 times better performance, an incredible increase. It's the most powerful chip we have ever built and will enable the next frontier of AI models. In the same period, we've also become 29x more energy efficient, and Amin will share more later today.
Today, we introduced our 7th generation of TPUs, Ironwood. Ironwood TPUs are our largest and most powerful TPU pods to date, more than a 10x improvement from our most recent high-performance TPU, with over 9,000 chips per pod. To meet the exponentially growing demands of the most demanding thinking models, like Gemini 2.5. This delivers a staggering 42.5 exaflops of compute per pod. To give you a sense of the scale, the world's #1 supercomputer supports 1.7 exaflops. Ironwood pods offer more than 24 times that compute power.
Now, one of the things that I found really interesting in this newsletter was Agent 2 Agent, or A2A for short. What is this all about?
This is a really interesting one, yeah. So A2A is a new open protocol that Google's spearheading. And the idea is to enable secure collaboration between AI agents. But here's the key, right? These agents can be on different platforms, different ecosystems.
So like an AI from Google talking to an AI from like Salesforce.
Exactly. And it's not just Google pushing this. They've got over 50 major tech and service companies backing this initiative, like Salesforce, SAP, PayPal, Atlassian, ServiceNow, Workday, Accenture, Deloitte, McKinsey, the list goes on.
Wow, that's a lot of big names.
Right. It's a pretty significant industry buy-in.
So what can these AI agents actually do together, though? Like, what's the point of all this collaboration?
So the goal is to let these AI agents communicate and work together effectively, even if they were built by different companies using different tools. They can discover each other's capabilities, they can coordinate tasks, they can share information, and they can do all this without needing to share their underlying data or how they work internally.
So it's like they can be teammates without revealing all their secrets.
Exactly.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Now, I remember reading about like another protocol, MCP, something like that. Is this related to that?
Yeah, so Anthropic, they have this protocol called MCP, which is also about agent interactions. But A2A is designed to handle like higher level communication and coordination between agents. MCP is more focused on how agents interact with external tools. So they're kind of complementary, not competing.
Okay, I get it. Different levels of interaction.
Yeah.
Can you give me like a real world example of how this A2A thing might work?
Yeah, the newsletter used the example of hiring. So imagine you have an AI agent from a recruiting platform, right? It specializes in finding potential candidates. And then you have another AI agent from a background check company.
Right, so two different AIs, two different jobs.
Exactly. Using A2A, they could seamlessly work together. The recruiting AI finds the candidates, then automatically kicks off the background check process with the other AI, all without any human intervention.
So it streamlines the whole process, makes it more efficient.
Exactly.
Okay, that's a good example. So why is this A2A thing such a big deal, though? Like, why should I care?
Well, as AI agents become more capable, they need to be able to collaborate to solve complex problems that are too big for any one AI to handle. But for that to happen, they need a way to communicate, right? They need standards. A2A is aiming to be that standard.
So it's like the foundation for a future where AIs are working together to solve big problems.
Exactly. It's laying the groundwork for a much more interconnected, much more powerful AI ecosystem.
That's pretty exciting, actually.
With Google Cloud, starting today, you can build and manage multi-agent systems with Vertex AI and our new agent development kit. You can scale the adoption of agents across your enterprise with our newly released Google Agent Space. And you can accelerate deployment with packaged AI agents that are ready for use today. Following the introduction of Vertex AI Agent Builder last year, we're announcing today a new agent development kit. It is a new open source framework that simplifies the process of building sophisticated multi-agent systems. Now you can build sophisticated Gemini-powered agents, help them use tools, do complex multi-step tasks, including reasoning or thinking. You can also discover other agents, learn their skills, and enable agents to work together while maintaining precise control. Agent Development Kit supports the Model Context Protocol, which provides a unified way for AI models to access and interact with various data sources and tools rather than requiring custom integrations for each and every one. We're also introducing a new agent-to-agent protocol that allows agents to communicate with each other regardless of the underlying model and framework they were developed with. This protocol is supported by many leading partners who share our vision to allow agents to work across the multi-agent ecosystem, and with agents built on other agent frameworks, including LangGraph and Crew AI. Today, we're putting AI agents in the hands of every employee with Google Agent Space. Employees using Google Agent Space can now find and synthesize information from within their organization, converse with AI agents, and have these agents take action on their behalf for their enterprise applications. Google Agent Space combines Google Quality Enterprise Search, conversational AI or chat, and Gemini and third-party agents. It also includes a broad set of tools, including purpose-built connectors to search and transact with documents and databases, as well as SaaS applications with advanced security and compliance to protect your data and your intellectual property.
Okay, last but not least, the newsletter also mentioned some updates to media generation tools in Vertex AI. What's new there?
Yeah, so Vertex AI, that's Google's machine learning platform, right? They've been busy improving their media generation tools. Specifically, they mentioned Lyria, which is their tool for creating music from text. They've made some enhancements there.
So now I can just type in sad love song and it'll compose one for me.
Well, maybe not that simple, but you get the idea. They've also improved the video editing controls for VO too.
So more fine-grained control over those AI-generated videos.
Exactly. And then there's Chirp 3, their text-to-speech model. They've added a new feature that lets you create 10-second custom voice clips.
Oh, that's cool. So I could have my own AI voice double.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay, so basically more tools, more control for creating audio and video using AI.
Exactly. They're giving developers and content creators more power and flexibility within Vertex AI.
All right, well, I think we've covered just about everything from this AIDB newsletter.
Today, we're making Lyria available on Google Cloud to transform text prompts into 30-second music clips, and we're the first hyperscaler to offer this capability. Let's hear a clip from Lyria.
Today, we're announcing our next generation of Customer Engagement Suite, which will include human-like voices, comprehension, and the ability to understand emotions, so agents can adapt better during the conversation. Streaming video support, so virtual agents can interpret and respond to what they see in real time through customer devices. AI assistance to build custom agents in a no-code interface, and the ability to use a variety of tools through API calls to interact and perform specific tasks for your application, like look up products, add to cart, or checkout.
And today, we're very excited to announce specialized agents for every member of your data team. Now, for data engineering teams, we deliver agents for all aspects of the data engineering lifecycle, from catalog automation to metadata generation to maintaining data quality to data pipeline generation. And for data science teams, our AI agent acts as a comprehensive coding partner in your data science notebook, accelerating every step of your workflow from data loading and feature engineering to predictive modeling. And for data analysts and business users, our conversational analytics agent performs powerful, trustworthy analysis entirely in natural language. And you can also embed this agent inline in your own web or mobile application. And today, we're announcing new Code Assist agents to help with everything from modernizing code to helping with the full software development lifecycle. Developers can interact with our agents on a Kanban board, which provides a real-time display of the tasks Code Assist is working on, as well as the ability for developers to interact with our agents. Code Assist also has integrations with dozens of partners, such as Atlassian, Sentry, Sneak, and many more coming soon.
And it's clear that Google's been busy, right? They've got faster models like Gemini 2.5 Flash, a whole new platform for building AI apps with Firebase Studio. They're advancing video and audio generation with VO2 and the Live API. They've got powerful new hardware with Ironwood, and they're pushing for AI collaboration with Agent-to-Agent.
It's a lot, yeah. And I think it shows that they're serious about pushing AI forward on multiple fronts.
Absolutely. It's not just about research anymore. They're making these tools accessible, they're building the infrastructure, they're thinking about how AI can work together.
And I think that's really exciting. It's not just about what Google's doing, it's about what all of us can do with these tools. Right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, right? With all this happening, all this new technology, these new possibilities, it makes you wonder what the future holds. What kind of amazing applications are going to be built? What problems are going to be solved?
Yeah. And for everyone listening, right? Where do you fit into all of this? What are you going to create? What are you going to contribute?
It's a really exciting time to be following all this.
Yeah.
So thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you found it informative, maybe even inspiring. And we encourage you to, go out there and explore. Dive deeper into the things that sparked your interest today. Who knows, maybe you'll be the one building the next groundbreaking AI application.
We'll be here to cover it when you do.
All right. Until next time, thanks for listening.
See you later.